This is chapter 96 from Truth Without Apology by Acharya Prashant. And the chapter's name is Clarity Leaves No Alternatives. And it starts with usually, isn't decision making such a burden on the mind? Question mark. Why does one face confusion? Why does one need to think so much, often circularly? Why are there so many options? Question mark. Why don't we just choicelessly know the path to take? So already we are starting with five questions right there, right? So my question to you guys is that something relatable? Where or are there any examples in your life where you're like, I want to make a certain decision. Should I do this? Should I do that? If there's something that's relatable, please go ahead and share it.
As Acharya says, we are fragmented within, and because there are so many Salonis inside of me, every Saloni will make her own this decision. So that's why I'm so indecisive, because one Saloni wants to make money, the other Saloni wants to read wisdom literature and follow the path of saints and people that have higher conscious people that have existed in the past. And then the other Saloni just has other desires to continue in the material world. And, so in that sense, I feel like this chapter answers my why I'm so indecisive. I'm indecisive because I have these fragments within me that want different things from the world. And Acharya says, you can answer this question by answering, who are you really? Like, who are you? And he says, we are primarily a consciousness. We shouldn't be body identified because we are not man or a woman. We are consciousness. That's our primary identity. And if I see my decisions from that perspective, then that means that I need to do something that elevates my consciousness and not something that fulfills my bodily desires. So, in that sense, all my decisions should align with that principle. So, in that sense, the choice becomes clear. Like what I should do in the future, I should just negate all the choices that are just fulfilling my bodily and material desires, and I should pick the choice that helps me elevate my consciousness.
My
In terms
question, my question, sorry to interrupt you, is why should one not go for physical or material desires?
I mean, because from what I understood, you, I think desire is the root of all. Like, where does desire come from? Desire comes from a central tendency, or like a central point of, I'm incomplete, hence
Yeah.
I should reach out to something, to maybe in my case a man, or I don't know, trying to look pretty, or just buying beauty products or something to make myself complete. But from what Upanishads have said, the saint Sant Kabir ji has said, you are not a body, you're a consciousness. So doing those things will not fulfill me. Elevating my consciousness will fulfill me. And that's why I think I can go for material pursuits, but I don't think that will fulfill me. And that's
What's
also
the
been my experience so far. Like,
yeah, yeah.
I've had the jobs
Exactly.
that I wanted.
Yeah.
I've dated some people in the past, but I was never really fulfilled.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What's our learned experience, right? What my learned experience is, I have had certain goals and dreams, and I've had certain achievements in many pursuits. And ultimately, what happens is that we get it, and then that high of achieving something new starts wearing off. And that's the reason why even the saints and the seers have already warned us. Even if you don't want to listen to them, if you just look around, see your own life, you'll know that doesn't work. You can keep doing it, but then when is it that that you realize that, okay, it's not getting fulfilled, you know? When's the end of it? Hmm?
It's
I'm saying
also
that
listing. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm saying that it also comes down to inner honesty, because saying that we are a body and like we are not a body, we are the consciousness is very conceptual. So you'll have to, like, people do not tell themselves their own facts. So they are dishonest most of the time. So I think clarity also comes from seeing things as they are, and most people do not do that. So I also see this as an example, like the classic fly in the milk example. So if you're having milk and you see there is a fly in the milk, then you won't sit and think, and you won't have many options to choose from. You will just simply discard the milk. So you'll not sit and decide, like, I have so many choices, what should I do next? So I think it also comes down to honestly telling yourself the facts that about your life, that what I really need. And that itself translates into, choicelessness in some sense.
Yeah.
Almond milk, just to correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, as I thought that he's also saying about, when clarity strikes you, that's a time when you are not going to be lost in the pros and cons now, because now the truth has come right on your face, like get one patka on your face kind of a thing. For me, at least, it's been like that. And then I can't bargain with it, because every time the same test keeps coming back and back and back, you might start choosing different options in your life, but the test remains the same until you've learned the lesson.
Yes.
So that's when you get the clarity. And once the clarity is attained, the test, even if it's coming, it will be like you're walking through it.
Right.
So why do you think some people even if they see it, they'll still continue on that path?
This is an amazing
Conditioning. This is
Why
conditioning.
do you think that happens? Because we have so many examples of that
Yeah.
around us. Why do you think?
Absolutely.
We were just
Absolutely.
doing a discussion yesterday about something. Well, where it's like you think that which was this shalok we were talking? We were doing Jag Pyari Ab Kya Sobe. And basically in that whole bhajan there is a point where it's like that pyari she thinks that something next thing will be better, next thing will make my life better, right? That's why we keep telling ourselves lies, and we stay in this illusion where it's like, no, that was all past, those experiences will not come again in my life, and the next experience is going to be wonderful,
Yeah.
right?
I can relate this to like relationships, especially like people date someone, break up, doesn't work out, the next
Yeah.
person, the next, and
he
especially in
just
the West.
he
Yeah.
just wasn't compassionate enough. The next
He
one will be.
he's a
Mm.
10, but he has brown hair, or he's a 10, but he doesn't know how to drive, or like you'll just find something.
Yeah, there's always something like, oh yeah, my ex, he wasn't really vegan. So the next
Yeah,
one, I should pick someone who's
just
actually vegan,
vegan
so I don't have
guy.
to work on them.
Yeah, vegan guy, he'll be perfect.
He'll be
Oh,
perfect.
he'll be. And then you meet the vegan guy, and then you realize he's vegan, but and dot
Yeah,
dot dot dot.
Yeah.
Right?
yeah, you're so right.
I
Yeah.
think clarity also comes with honesty, and Acharya has overemphasized all the time about imandari. And imandari is nothing but having integrity. Integrity is not to lie to yourself. And that is the place where you watch yourself, where you speak the truth to yourself and you say, like, this is enough. No more of this bullshitting or whatever, whatever, wherever you are placed in your life. Or I think and that part is so clear, Jab, when that strikes finally on you, that now you just can't be under your conditions and your habits. And now you have to take the decision that is required at that very moment. And it will be that, as I said, it will not feel like a war then. It will feel like you're just walking through it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll add something to it. I think hope really prevents that self-honesty because I think Acharya ji has said, like, I don't know the exact word, but asha something. It just means that hope keeps that dishonesty alive, and also just we are so attached to the images of how it will be when I get so and so thing, like when I get this perfect job or when I get this perfect house that I want to buy, if I get a beach villa, we have this checklist given to us by.
Identities.
Right. Like I was reading somewhere, there's 4 things that are pillars of modern society. Travel is a good escape. Like people are like, oh, if
Oh
once I
yeah.
solo travel and see all the countries, then I'll be fulfilled or something. So travel, having a romantic partner, having that best job and like high status at your job. Like once I get that promotion, once I get that job, once I get this perfect woman in my life, then I will finally be fulfilled.
Yeah.
So I think most people don't get those things. So like it's easy to just waste your whole life just trying to attain your mark your checklist. So I think that's what prevents self honesty.
I
Absolutely.
also think that even when you see what you need to do, you do not act because that path is very difficult to pursue, because you'll have to leave your comforts as well. So, like being in an uncomfortable situation also prevents. You have to be really ready to walk that path. That's also something.
Your appetite for facts
Yeah.
is your is like goes along with your appetite for uncomfort or being able to just be uncomfortable with something. If you're not going to be, if you're okay being uncomfortable, only then you'll be able to accept the facts of the matter. Otherwise, you'll just brush them off in the carpet and then move on. So
Why do you think people have a less appetite for facts in general? Like we can't have this conversation with everyone.
Yeah.
You know, why is it? Why is that? Do you know?
because they prefer comfort, right? Before anything, they want to be secure, they want comfort, they want not to be challenged, they want to be normal. I guess.
Normal.
Think though, are they comfortable by not facing facts directly?
It's like you know that taking a shower is gonna be nice for me. I'm gonna stink less, but the water is too cold. I don't feel like it. It's
And
very like,
nobody's telling you that you stink because everybody's stinking, right? So
yeah. So you're
Yeah.
just immune to
Why?
that smell.
yeah, you have to have the disgust first that okay, something's wrong. Then you
Isn't
try.
that crazy?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll let you finish.
No, no, go.
Disgust, vairagya, right? Yeah. But no, you continue. Sorry.
No, I was just saying, isn't that crazy? Just imagine, like during Holocaust, when Hitler was gassing all the Jews. I'm sure there were some Germans who were like, "This is not right. Do you think we should speak up?" You know, but like everyone just collectively kept quiet and just kept that happening in the background. Like, was that so uncomfortable for people to like speak up and say something because it was so obviously wrong?
They were not angry enough. Same thing is happening right now with the ICE situation in Minneapolis, and this is a very good point to bring up right now. If everyone gets together and stand against it, who can rule over you? You would throw them off. French Revolution is an example, right? How when people come together in favor of something that's right, we know that this is right, then you won't care about your comfort and you die for your freedom. You would literally die for your freedom.
Not about right or wrong. Also, I think if you're not, if you think that whoever is being oppressed or whoever is being like killed or whatever, if you don't have any relation to them, if you don't, if you see them as aliens or if you see them as just not you or not anything to do with you, you will just walk past it. You'll not even care.
Ego
Same thing
separates us.
yeah, right or wrong is very subjective, right? Like it's same as killing animals. We don't even care about like
Yeah.
animals being killed, so nobody gives a shit about them. So
You know, you brought up a really good point. So, like right now, that Yuvraj Mehta death in India, I feel like something like this happened. Only their family members or like close friends come out and do a candlelight vigil march or something like that. Like every community stands up for themselves. Like we see, like students are out on the streets, or doctors are out on the streets, or like there's a rape, so like women are out on. There's always like people
something
in their own
Speaking, yeah.
communities come out. They don't together ever. I don't see that together. Everyone's coming out. Do you think that is related? Like people are angry, but they're only angry when they're hurt directly by the system.
and
Yeah,
there
unless it impacts you personally, you do not feel that something is wrong. So unless you face the brunt of it, your family, I think people are a lot like to live in their own chambers and their own family, their friends, like just themselves. And I think that is something that prevents them from seeing the the whole picture clearly.
Your identity is kind of limited
Yes.
to a
Yeah.
smaller.
It's like, so there is a personal identity, right? Where it's like me, Mr. So and so, or Miss So and so. I got attacked by someone, but then there is a collective identity where it's like, I, a woman, a rape happened, I must stand up.
Yeah.
But why wouldn't that same woman stand up when there's a lamb being chopped?
Yeah,
By
or cows being milked or cows being raped. Right?
exactly.
Or even when like when there's a section 298 on some man in India and like the woman has taken away crores of money from some dude, I think women should go out on the streets and protest that also. But Dasmeet, you brought up a really good point. Like people have their own identities that they attach to and they only stand for those identities. And that's where Acharyaji's teachings are so important because he teaches non-duality. Like we're all the same. There
So
is no difference.
that connects us back to the thing key, like if you are not one, then you don't know who you are, and then you're fragmented, then you don't know which path to take. If you're so closely identified with, let's say, everything, then everything wrong that's going on, you'll be affected with that, and you'll try to, work towards that, whatever is as per you, like whatever is the biggest problem that is happening, then you'll try to act, towards that. Right now, if I am only my if my highest identity is just a man, then anything going wrong with the man, I probably would act, maybe
Yeah.
expand that identity and become one. Then your path will also get clarity.
Does Vedanta give us one identity, consciousness, and that brings us to this just one identity then?
A
Yeah.
non-identity identity, if that even makes sense. This is going really beautifully. I should go ahead and read next 4 lines so that we stick with our thing. And now Maya is back now.
Sorry, guys.
That's all good. That's all good. No problem. The conversation is still flowing. The next lines start like this: one sees options and one needs to choose among them. The more the options, the greater the confusion. What if there were no options at all? Would decision making still be relevant, let alone torturous? Aren't the facts of life just obvious, undisputable, and singular? Is there an alternative to facts? How do we manage to see options? Question mark. Again, bunch of questions. Should I keep going? Maybe because I do not exactly know who I am. Now, this is where we're coming back to what we were just discussing, where I am and how I reached here. So I juggle between various selves, and the one with multiple selves will have multiple competing and contradictory desires. These desires show up as multiple options in decision making. And the last line here, the fragmentation within becomes the diversity of options one sees outside. We literally just talked about it. My identity as a white man, as a woman, my identity as a Brahmin, or even my identity as a vegan. There could be a unconscious vegan who has changed the superficial habits but hasn't changed from within, and he or she is fully egoic about their identity.
Yeah,
Right.
and not just vegan, but just your identity as an activist. That's also an identity. Like, oh, I'm an activist.
Do-gooder.
That can also become
Yeah.
harmful.
Yes. Yes, when you are confused about the external situation, forget the external situation for a while and turn within. Now, this is where he's not asking questions, he's just instructing. Now, ask, am I watching things with dispassion and honesty, or am I watching from a center of fear and desire? And you will find the fog clears and the bare facts become obvious. No options, no choices, no confusions. The decision has been made. To give eyes to a blind is commendable, but to give sight to one with already healthy eyes is pure magic. This is the magic we all need. So, eyes versus sight.
Yeah, that's very beautifully put. I think that's what Acharyaji's live sessions are doing for all of us. We are seeing things from a fresh perspective. Like I have a good example of this. I was like my house where my mom lives. There's a chicken dhaba next to the house, and I grew up listening to chicken screaming, but I never really paid any attention because I thought like it was noise in the background for me. But after I became vegan, I went back, and now I'm like so sensitive to their screams. I'm trying to get the dhaba to shut down. Uh, I was surprised how I never noticed these things before I was introduced to Acharyaji's teachings. But now, everything I see, I have a new perspective on it. So I always like I was never blind. I always had eyes, but
Mm,
Acharyaji gave me sight.
mm, absolutely.
I think that this is very true. Even for me, I see that the way clarity came into me, especially regarding religious practices. I kept doing sometimes just for respect of the elders of society, with the family, and like always, that fear part always was lurking around. Like, how should I tell them? What if they get into a bigger discussion, just to avoid that discussion? But then I realized, that should be actually a point of discussion. Why not? Maybe nobody's ever spoken to them about, why are you blindly doing this kind of prayer? Why do you need to go to the mosque out of fear that because if you don't go to the mosque, you're going to, be caught in the hell and everything? So, when I had the clarity, I slowly started, backing off. And if somebody wants to indulge now in that conversation, which people usually avoid because they know that they think that, I'm astray basically. So why do you speak to an astray person? But but whenever I get the chance, with clarity, I will speak. And I have not given myself so many options that I would move now left or right. Just knowing that this is your path is enough. Then people automatically filter, as Acharya says, like, it's not your duty to correct actually your family all the time. It's your neighbor will come and correct your family. So I did my part with my family. I was there. I explained them in the best possible manner, and then I left.
Yeah.
One more example that I can relate from my life when I see that I had eyes but I didn't have sight at that point of time. So if we look at the conventional family setup, especially in India, so I could see that my father was taking the major decisions in our life, like all major decisions or major family decisions were taken by my father, and my mother was just a yes man to him all her life. So and that was kind of normal to me, and I never questioned why that was the way it was. And that's exactly when I started listening to Acharyaji's perspective of, questioning everything. That's when I started questioning that why this man is doing certain types of things and this woman is only doing certain types of things. Why is she not, exploring more opportunities and, taking her own decisions? And that's when I thought that's what, I have felt most of my life that I should have, done something about it. So now that I know and now that I see that is happening, I am taking, steps to change that within my own family. So I think I have sight now. I did not have that earlier. Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
All right. Yeah, sight versus having healthy eyes. We look around and we see all things that are probably not going in the how they should go. There's very less truth in this world. Most of it is operating from the center of falseness, and there's a handful of people who are able to see that, just see that. And there's always the ratio has been always like that. There'll always be a mass of people, majority of people, going in that path of comfort, falsehood, and very little people who would go on the path of truth. And these sages, these seers, Acharyaji says, if they were not there, we would be already burning in hell. Because of those few who chose that path, we are able to breathe even.
Right. And I think I just want to add, like, just want to build up on what you said earlier on the number of options we have when we are fragmented within, I think that is what makes your life pure hell, when you have a lot of options and you just don't know what. Like, personally relating to it, uh, I can live anywhere in the world, or like I have a decent job, so I can like try to find that job in a different part of the country. Really not tied down to anything. I can do it, like basically go anywhere, date anyone, do whatever I want to. But that really messes with my mind a lot, because then I have so many options, and then I'm like, oh my god, I could do this. I could live in California. I could live in maybe Maryland. I could go to DC. Why don't I go to New York? Like every day, I come up with a new location that I can move to, and I've always lived like that. My bags are always packed. Wherever I've lived, it's only for 2 years or like maybe 3 years. Then I get itchy feet. And wouldn't it be so nice? Wouldn't it be nice to not have options and just have like one path to pursue? I think my life would be far, far, far more peaceful, because
Yeah.
I don't know, sometimes I feel like the more options you have, like I don't know if you guys experience that. Like when you go to grocery store and you have like 20 brands of chocolates, you're just like, dude, I just want a chocolate. I don't want to think so much. There's a decision fatigue that sets in.
Analysis paralysis, right?
Analysis.
Yeah, and I think I've had that more after I moved here. You have to think so much, because every shirt you want to buy, you go to a shop, and there's like, oh, I could get this, I could get crop top and this and that. Dude, I just want a piece of clothing to cover myself so I can walk out as a civilized person in society and not be naked, you know. But
That's where
but
that comes,
yeah.
right? I want, like, a part of me, an identity of me is uh, someone who wants attention. An identity of me is someone who wants to be in sync with the latest fashion. A part of me is someone who doesn't want to buy Shein or some other products which endorse for, I don't know, labor or like child labor or whatever. So that all those parts are getting conflicted now. Like the
Yeah, and like a more practical example is like, even in terms of location, like I live in Charlotte right now. I have thoughts of moving to California, New York. There's 50 states. I could go anywhere. And like I have this persistent thought, like, why exactly am I living here? There are so many places that I could be. So just this,
yeah,
when you have too much freedom, but you're not really free inwardly, your ego is not free. You don't know how to use it. You can go crazy, you know. And I think I really like how Acharya explained Ekon Kar, because I used to listen to that song after I watched Rang De Basanti. I was like, oh, this is so nice. But Acharya explained what Ekon Kar means, and it means one choice. You're left with no you're left with no options. You just have one path to pursue. I just think that for me is paradise. You know, that
yeah,
for me is mukti or liberation or whatever you guys want to call it. But I haven't I haven't reached there.
yeah.
I
But
don't
there's a
know.
lot. There's a spectrum, right? You don't. It's not a destination to be at. It's a progress. Like it's a journey, and then where I also see myself maybe a year or two back, I would have had a lot of things on my mind. Ki, okay, let's do this, let's do that. But now that the amount of things have gone down, right? So I'm not uh, as much conflicted, or I'm not as confused as I was earlier. Now I have lesser options in things, like lesser options in, let's say, things I want to do with my time in my free time. I know, like, okay, things which I value now, there there's that set of things has kind of limited to, things which elevate me. I need not worry about. Let's like you feel a lot less uh, underweight or like under pressure or something. Like you feel lighter.
Yeah. When your center, when you found your center, then also you'll be making choices every day, every moment. You will be, but it'll be such a breeze because you're clear. There's clarity in your life. Like, this is what matters to me the most, and this is what's worth living for. So I'm gonna do this. I'm I'm exercising because my fit body is going to be used for this particular purpose. Done. I'm eating a certain kind of food because it aligns with my center. I am doing a certain kind of work is because it aligns with my purpose. I have a reason to live. When your center is clear, less choices, still choices, but easy decisions. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I guess we can wrap up by saying that this whole chapter for me was just helpful to see how indecisiveness is the hell of life, and you can become more decisive once you gain clarity on who you really are, and what will in fact give you fulfillment. So once you know yourself better, like Acharya says, self-inquiry and self-knowledge, once you have clarity about that, then you can pursue your choices based on that alignment.
Are you guys interested in going down the path of,
Rabbit
or
hole.
like questioning of who am I or who am I not?
Yeah.
I mean, he's made it clear like several
So,
times. Like, I think that actually answers everything.
Yeah.
but yeah, that's still conceptual. From for me, what like how I see it is, I'm not like if you say that I'm consciousness, that's okay. I mean, conceptually, maybe we have ingested that.
Yeah.
But every time you're making a decision, you're something else. Like every time you're making, let's say, a food choice, a clothes choice, or a choice to live somewhere, you're originating from somewhere, which is an identity, which is somebody. So you have to that knowing has to happen in real time every time. That where is this coming from? Is this some fear or desire that I'm seeing certain things a certain way, or which are making me, choose between these two options? Or where is this question coming from? Which identity is getting triggered? So, am I fearful? Am I greedy? Where is it coming from? So, that I guess is more of a question of who am I in this moment right now? Who is it that is having this dilemma of, whether to go this direction or that direction? Where is this coming from? That is to me, who am I?
Who am I?
Like it's a constant reminder. Okay, who am I right now? Who am I right now? Is it coming from somewhere?
One way to see to understand this could be just directly look at what's going on in your life right now, like what are the things going on, and as you take a look at it, you're thrown into presence. For example, I'm a woman who's married 10 years in. I have two kids, and I'm constantly pressured and I'm stressed, and I don't know what to do. I'm almost going suicidal, right? And if I want to know who am I, I'm gonna simply see why I got in this place in the first place. And if I keep tracing back all my decisions of having children or marrying, then I find out that there was certain fear of or insecurity. Whereas, like when I was young and I was a marriageable age, I had a fear that I'd have an insecure future. So I got married, and then domino effect, all the other things happen. I can really say those things, but you get it, right? And then as you dig deeper, you're like, oh my god, everything I'm living right now has come from my fear and my insecurity, and look the mess I've created. That's one way to go inward towards liberation. The other way is seeing rationally as a scientist that I am just these five elements, really, the Gita way, where it's like, what am I made of? Even the Chaitana, even the consciousness, right?
But
Am
that
I,
I think, sorry,
yeah.
I was, yeah, okay. So I think going the second route, the science way that I'm made of five elements, I think it becomes very conceptual. If you're just talking to somebody for the first time and you sort of try to, make them realize that they are one with everything. So it kinds of become very hazy and fuzzy for somebody to understand. So I think the first one is more realistic. Like when you look at your life choices in real, that's
Yeah.
when it becomes more easier to
It
get
takes
to
a
understand.
very special kind of person, a very sensitive person. Sensitive doesn't mean sensitive, but very like present to yourself, to realize and start questioning the existence itself. So you're absolutely right. If you just look at your actions, you'll know. But you have to be honest.
You just
I
have
Yeah.
to
mean,
find somebody who's done it, or like some example, because we have been trained for 20 years, right? So that's what we have been uh, seeing all around us. If we see somebody doing this, like, cross questioning or like going inwards, if we see that, okay, this can be done, and this is, it's just a matter of practice, right? You've practiced listening and following your fears or desires or somebody, like society or body, then now you try to see things like, okay, this can be done, let's try to do this. Maybe it doesn't take a special person, it just takes like an example of somebody who's done it and lived it that way, I guess.
I mean, I think you guys are just making it complicated. I don't think intellectual comprehension will help this. If you're just honest with ourselves, our main problem is for the background noise to stop. And what
Hmm.
is the background noise? The background noise is like, shit, I did some things and I got here somehow. And now I'm not really that fulfilled. I'm still suffering. Like, basically, that's it. And what did I do? Where did my decisions come from? Mainly from social conditioning and biological and biology. Sometimes biology was stronger than reason, and sometimes social conditioning was stronger than biology. But it was really just one of the two that got us to where we are. And we just need to understand, like, why did I become an engineer? I wanted to study philosophy. Why did I study engineering? Well, because everyone around me was doing it, and my parents, like coming from a middle class family, my parents just wanted me to make some money. There's no philosophy factory which I could have worked in and made money. So like this seemed like a very secure shortcut, coming from a middle class Indian background. And that's how I got here. And like I wasted, my my youthful years
Yeah.
that could have gone into some deep, which like I now rationalize it thinking it's okay. I have an analytical bent of mind because I studied engineering, and there was some good that came out of it. But how we got here is not that hard to comprehend. It was just a combination of a lot of fear, greed, and desire, consumption centric desire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
And
at
we
least
don't
in
even
all of
need to
our
go.
cases, yeah.
Well, we don't even need to go there, right? We just need to look at what is at hand right now. Like, this is what is bothering me right now, and this is how, like, I have to deal with it with the tools that I have right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and why did we think that all those things were going to make us happy? Because we thought that's what I need. I need more money. I need a house or all of those things. You need your basic needs met, but then beyond that, you need something else. And that proves again that you're a consciousness more than a material body. Like you're always, uh, all our troubles start in the mind. So we are more mind than body.
So, very common question that comes to Acharya, and this could be coming from someone who even might be listening to this. Maybe they might be listening to this. Like, okay, all of the stuff you said is amazing and very nice. What do I do? What do I do now? I'm in this situation. I'm stuck. What do I do? I want to get out of it. What are you gonna say to that person? How are you gonna help them?
Well, I think it all depends on like how how painful your situation is to you, because someone could be in a lot of pain, but they'd rather be they'd rather just like keep their pain because it's familiar. What is that saying? A known devil is better than an unknown angel or something. So
Hmm. Yeah.
your pain is familiar. You've lived with it for a while, so you'd rather keep it rather than just change your life fully and jump into something new because that's unfamiliar, because our primitive brain loves familiarity. So
Yes.
I think you have to break out of that
Yeah.
basically somehow. It needs courage and self-love and honesty.
Take action. Take action. Take the first step. If you think that this conversation is reaching you and you're understanding it, then your next step should be take whatever is the right action right now. Just move in that uncomfortable zone a little bit, and the next step will appear. Is that something practical to say?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess.
Okay. Any final thoughts?
think takeaways probably.
Takeaways?
I mean, I think I'll just, this is my takeaway. I think we can get stuck in like just intellectualizing it too much to the point of exhaustion. But I think really at some point you have to like just take action
Yeah.
at some point. I think you can keep delaying it and postponing it, and worse, you can distract yourself with some mindless distractions. There's so much mindless entertainment around us. I think that's like the worst thing that you could do.
The numbing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so true. And even if if it's uncomfortable, just do it. Just do it. Be uncomfortable for some time. It's gonna be a new experience. Being uncomfortable is awesome. At least you know you're moving towards freedom. At least you know there's something changing. Otherwise, you're gonna keep being there, be stuck in that dark hole. And by the way, by being there, you're helping no one. You're not helping yourself, first of all, and even the people who are involved, your kids, your family. You're not doing them a favor because you are supporting their darkness by being there. So step out of that for yourself and for them.
Yeah, and can I just add something to that?
Yeah.
You know what's the worst thing that you can do in like when you feel stuck? You can join group chats, like WhatsApp group chats where they find people on their same level, and they're just texting random gifs or good morning and good afternoon. This is a picture of snow outside my house. Like, this is like the worst thing you can do. Find people on your level who are also stuck and bored.
Yeah. By the way, there's one interesting practical step you can take. There's a thing called Gita community. Some Acharya Prashant guy who does that. Maybe you can join that, and maybe that can be a good start.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
I'm gonna this is where the link comes. Join the movement. If you have listened this far, then you have got to join this community. This is made for you. Seriously, come. You'll find people who can relate with you. No?
And in my experience, this is the only place where real conversations happen.
Yeah.
You come here to meet yourself.
Yeah. The real family.
Basically, in those groups that Saloni is talking about, there's a lot of consolation that happens. In this
Oh,
group, there's a lot of confrontation that happens, or like you get challenged, or so
yeah.
probably, yeah, better place to be.
Yeah, very well put. There's this confrontation in Acharya Prashant community, but yeah, but like in random WhatsApp chats, you're just, I don't know,
Confident.
what is that? I am in a bunch of those. I don't know what to do.
Girl, you're amazing. Just the way you are. Girl, you're
Yeah,
amazing. You
just
don't
the
need
way
to
you
change
are.
yourself.
There was
He's an asshole. You don't need to change yourself.
there's I'm part of a mixed group here, and these are people who just no purpose, they just want to pass their time. So today there's a snowstorm in Charlotte and everyone's stuck in their homes. So there's a guy who texted in the group saying, I'm going insane, let's go out somewhere, I'm going crazy. Like, people are so uncomfortable like being by themselves. Like, dude, how hard can it be? It's just one day of snow.
That's so true. True love or true friendship doesn't look like they're gonna just agree to you all the time. Real friendship is like they'll call you out on your bullshit. They'll,
Yeah,
they'll grab you and then try to lift you up a little bit. And
yeah.
you want to keep those people around.
Yeah, isn't it sad? But people have like these like group chats that I don't know why I'm part of this, but people have like no concern for each other. Like you could be fired from your job, you could be really depressed, but you have to look happy
Yeah.
to fit in. No one gives a shit about your shit, you know? Just
Yeah.
as long as you're funny and socially agreeable, you're good.
Yeah. And you're just playing a role, but deep down you're so sad. Like Instagram feeds, deep down you're sad. I can see it in your eyes. You're just showing that you have this happiness in the form of the new this and the new that.
I think it's a face people put on to look socially adjusted.
Hmm.
They just want to look like they've got it all together. And yeah.
Okay. I guess we're good.